October 2007 in Seattle, Washington, on Alki Beach, the Marker Buoy Dive Club and the Boeing Seahorse Dive Club have the annual underwater pumpkin carving contest.
Figure about 37.5 pounds to sink that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Buoyancy.
Buoyancy, yeah. It's 36 pounds and about 37.5 to sink. In addition to the weight.
The divers get in the water. They have exactly 1 hour to swim out. They must reach a depth of at least 10 feet. The pumpkins cannot be pierced until they are on the bottom. If you've ever cut into a pumpkin, you know it's basically a big globe of nothing. Well, some pumpkin guts, but lots of air or nothingness inside, which creates a lot of buoyancy. So you have to have a lot of weight to get the pumpkin down, or you have a small pumpkin. Once the pumpkin is cut and the water gets inside, then it's near neutral. There is some slight positive buoyancy, but not very much. Here, a husband and wife team goes out with their pumpkin. This is typical. In the mesh bag, all the weight is at the bottom of the bag. And apparently it's not quite enough because it looks like he's pushing down pretty hard, even with the weights in the bag, to get that pumpkin down. Now the idea is to cut it quickly and let the water inside. But this team doesn't want to cut the top off the pumpkin. They want to cut the side off the pumpkin. They want to make like an oval door on the side of it. So they try to turn it around inside the mesh bag. In the process, the pumpkin escapes. Uh-oh. We have very buoyant pumpkin on the surface. Look, the weights. I need those weights. Now, divers have to be concerned with buoyancy also. So she looks up, pumpkin up, weights down. What's wrong with this picture? So, she simply goes over to the weights and tries to bring them up to the surface. Ooh, she immediately notices one thing. She was neutrally buoyant, as divers try to maintain neutral buoyancy during the dive. So then she puts some air inside of her buoyancy compensator or buoyancy device, increases her buoyancy, and she's able to ride the elevator up and give it to him. And now he has pumpkin and weights once again together. Sort of. The pumpkin's no longer in the mesh bag. And you see him still trying to kick down to get to the bottom. little more buoyancy there than they calculated and brought enough weights for. She gets the pumpkin down and holds on to it, and he comes down with a knife and tries to pierce it. But it's not just weight, it's balance, it's control. Will they make it? Uh-oh. Did you see what I just saw? Weights on the bottom, pumpkin going up. You see, as you turn the pumpkin and try to cut it, it's trying to pop to the surface. So it's not just push it down. Here, with pure brute strength and awkwardness, she's able to push the pumpkin down to the bottom and hold it there, using one hand to try and equalize her ears, that is, pinch her nose at the same time, and push straight down. And she's got to maintain balance straight down. If she kicks down at an angle, the pumpkin's going to go up at the opposite angle. Quickly, get the weights. Knife it ready. Put them together. Oh, forgot. Got to equalize my ear pressure. Don't stab her. By now, both divers are exhausted. People sometimes ask, "Don't you get cold in there? The water is under 50 degrees. Well, it depends upon our activity. If we stay in one place, we might get cold. When you work like they do, inside of a completely sealed dry suit, you're going to overheat. And finally, exhaustion sets in, and they decide to head for shore.
Gliding shapes that violate every law of nature. They're not human, but they hunt human women.
But wait, she says. We can't leave the pumpkin out here. And she goes to retrieve it.
Humanoids.
Alas, one pumpkin in the contest that didn't get carved. Actually, there were 2 pumpkins that didn't get carved today. But many pumpkins did get carved. Here are some examples.